Hey, everybody. I recently was part of a discussion in a group, and there were lots of questions about period panties. And so I realized that the reviews that I did on period panties about a year ago, I think they were all done in stories because I can't find the record of them. So I thought that why not do a live so that it's part of the permanent record about period panties and questions that people often ask about them. So I reviewed several brands. Now, I should probably start by saying I am not endorsing any particular brand. I do not receive any commission or anything like that um, for talking about these brands, nothing like that. So that's not what this is. What this is a woman who's tried them wants to make sure that you get what's going to work really well for you. So I reviewed Joyja, I think that's how you pronounce it, which is the brand out of Adore Me. I reviewed Thinks because that's one of the ones that people tend to ask about the most often. I reviewed Modi Body. I reviewed, sorry, my dog is trying to come in the door. What was the other one? Period Aisle. I reviewed Period Aisle. And recently I did a review for Bam Body. So I've got 5 of the major brands covered for you. I have colleagues that have really great luck with Tomies. They have a really cool pouch in the front of them that you can put like the company sells these like heat packs that you can break and you like stick them in the pouch that's built into the front of the panty to keep heat on your abdomen, which I think is a brilliant idea for anybody that has pain that can be alleviated by heat. But I personally haven't tried them to be able to vouch for how they do on a heavy day or anything like that. But I do have colleagues that really highly recommend them. So that's what I know about Tomies. The Joyja brand, they have all kinds of fun and cute patterns. I had high hopes for that brand just because, period underwear tends to be a little more plain. Although I have to say, in the year since I've done the original review for these, the color spectrum is better, the pattern spectrum is better, the cuts are better. So, all of those things are continuing to improve. And probably, looking back at this video a year from now, there'll be continued improvement because I think, people just want to wear cute underwear regardless of whether they're on their period. But Joyja, anyway, I was really disappointed. I had super high hopes because they were fun patterns. They were really low profile. So it didn't feel like bulky because that was something that I was worried about. When I first started trying these, I've always been a menstrual cup wearer, and I have really good luck with menstrual cups, but I wanted to, have the option of having a backup that didn't have to be thrown in the trash can, which was one of the reasons why I started wearing period underwear. And actually, I just like them so well, and they're reliable enough. It gives me some flexibility and a break from the cups. So the technology has come a long way, both in how they fit, but also how they absorb. So back to Joyja. So Joyja I had high hopes for because it's very low profile, super cute patterns, nice cuts. They run very small, and they don't absorb anything. I was really, really disappointed. So even on a light day, they might be okay as a backup for like a cup or a disc, but they definitely did not hold up the way that I was hoping. So I use them like if I think my period might be coming as I don't want to stain my underwear before I get to the bathroom to check kind of thing. But they're really not a very reliable option. So the next brand that I reviewed was Thinks. Thinks is a name that a lot of people know, just because they've been around for a while. They've been perfecting their technology for a while. I can say that their overnights are very absorbent. They do run very small. So if you do go with that brand, you're going to want to order a size up. The thing that disappointed me about them, well, there's a couple things that disappointed me about them. I was thinking that for such a big brand name, that they were going to be, I don't know. I guess I just thought they were going to be amazing because so many people use them. But if you are built like me, you can see that I'm kind of curvy. My thighs have never not touched in the middle. And I don't know if, even running a lot, my thighs have never not touched in the middle. So I don't know if it's anatomically the way that I'm shaped. But if you are like me and you have any pooling of menses kind of towards the front of the underwear, maybe not all the way up the back, but the pooling happens more towards the front, even overnight, Thinks are not going to be the brand for you, because the seam on the front of the Thinks is very low. So the absorbent piece only comes just a little bit beyond your external genitalia. It doesn't come up very far in the front. So when the fluid like pools, it like creates a big circle, and I was finding that the fluid was like half absorbed by the absorbent liner, and then the other half was like above that absorbent line. And I was having accidents, which I was really disappointed by. The other part about Thinks is because they are very synthetic fabric. When you are wearing them and you have to go to the bathroom, but you don't have the opportunity to change them, it's like pulling a wet bathing suit bottom back up. I know that sounds really gross, but I just wanted you to be aware so that you're not surprised by it's like, oh, okay, so yep, this is kind of gross. So I was disappointed by that. I thought there'd be more of a wicking component, and it does. I mean, it does wick moisture away from your body, but there's just something about the synthetic combination of their material that once it's wet, it feels heavy, and it feels like a wet bathing suit bottom, which makes you compelled to want to change them very quickly. The other aspect of that is they, even with my clients, they really only wear them on their lighter days. I haven't had any clients yet that are like so diehard about Thinks that they're like, nope, I can wear them the whole way through, not a problem. They even go to pads like on their heavier couple of days and then go back to Thinks when the flow lightens up. So if that is any testament to kind of how they wear, they're not bad as a backup for a cup. But again, if you get any pooling in the front, that line of where the absorbent material meets the rest of the fabric that goes up to the waistline, it's just not high enough. And so it's very possible, if you don't have something like a cup to slow the flow or catch some of the flow, a cup or a disc, then the possibility for accidents is a lot higher. So drum roll, please. Let's get to the ones that I really, really enjoy. So I tried Period Aisle. They used to be called Luna Pad, if I remember correctly. I actually had a hard time finding them at first because they were in the process of doing their rebranding. But their product is brilliant. The way that everything is cut, the waist is nice. They have like a higher waisted and they have lower rise, so depending on what you're comfortable with. I like the fact that like the leg openings, you just feel like nothing's gonna leak out, which is awesome. The other really brilliant feature about Period Aisle is the fact that alone they absorb 2 tampons worth of fluid. Now, I wish they wouldn't measure it in tampons, honestly. But, if you figure a regular tampon is somewhere around 10 milliliters of fluids, it'll take roughly 18 to 20 milliliters of fluid is what I would ballpark. Um, but they have an absorbent liner that you can slide into the pocket to double the absorbency. So with one pair of panties, you can actually get like heavy days and light days out of them, which I think is really awesome, because a lot of the period panties, you have to buy them per absorbency. So you end up with several, because, obviously on a heavy day, you have to change more often, and you need several that are geared for a heavy day. So I loved the feature that you could decide, like, I'm going to slide a liner in. I have enough support for a heavy day. I can take the liner out for a lighter day. Even with the extra absorbent liner, it's very low profile. So even when you're sliding in that extra support, it doesn't feel like you're sitting on a little mattress, which is awesome. It's very, very absorbent. The seam in the front comes up a lot higher. So that pooling effect that I was talking about with the Thinks is a non-issue with these. I can wear them during the day and at night, laying down. I haven't had any issues with accidents, which has been fantastic. They stay in place really well, and they're not made of synthetic fabric. They breathe really nicely. They're super, super comfortable. So I was happy with the coverage. I was happy with the quality. Period aisle, you also can like put in a lingerie bag and you can wash on gentle in the machine. A lot of period panties you have to wash by hand and hang them to dry. With period aisle, you can do them on delicate, and you can actually dry them on delicate. So again, fewer pairs are required because you can speed up the washing and drying part of the process. The limitation that I had seen with period aisle is that, most of their things were black, and that was it. Very functional during a period. However, if you were looking for any fun patterns, there were some limits there. But solid product, great quality. I love mine. So that is a great buy. Where else? Okay, so I also did Modi Body. Modi Body, again, you buy per absorbency. They have a really wide selection of colors, cuts, and absorbencies, and they're fantastic. Again, super breathable, soft fabric, very, very comfortable. Even your really heavy day or overnight absorbency. It's a little bit thicker than you get with period aisle and with like Bam Body, for example, but it's not bad. It's not uncomfortable. It doesn't feel like you have a pillow in your pants, nothing like that. But out of those three brands that I really enjoy, it is the thicker of all of them. However, I have definitely never had a leak with them. So the seaming, I want to say it's called a gusset. I'm not a seamstress, so if that is not the right terminology, please correct me. But that seam that separates the top part of the fabric from the crotch section, the seam is higher, so you have more of the absorbent fabric that comes up in the front. So again, no issues with accidents, and if you have pooling in the front. And the cool part is with Modi Body, the absorbent layer is actually run all the way up the back and sewn into the waistline for their overnights. So it doesn't matter how you're laying down, nothing is getting out, which is fantastic. I save my Modi Body heavies for when I'm sleeping overnight on my heavy days because I've had no issues at all. And I really like them. They do have to be hand washed and hung to dry. Super easy. You rinse them out in the sink. You squeeze them out to make sure that, you don't have anything left in them. You just soak them in the sink for a little bit, rinse them out, and let them dry. It's not a very labor intensive process. I will set them in the sink and I'll go do, breakfast and other things with the kids, and I'll come back and rinse them out. And, so it's really easy to juggle even if you're busy. If you're at work, you may want to think about like a wet bag. Just because if you're having a really heavy day, you may want to change them once or twice at work, just for your comfort level. However, Modi Body, again, it wicks moisture really well, just like Periodile. Both of them wick moisture away from your body really nicely. So even if you have to like go to the bathroom, but you don't have time to change and you can't get back to it for a couple of hours, you don't have that wet feeling. If you have to pull them back up and keep going, it wicks moisture away from your body really nicely. So you don't have that sensation, which is awesome. Let's see, is there anything else about Modi Body? Modi Body, I can't remember if I mentioned, they have some really great colors, as well as cuts. Like one of my Modi Body panties, I should have brought them all down here before I started talking. I didn't even give it a thought. It has like lace at the waistband. So like they have some really pretty colors. Like I have like a bright orange and like a raspberry red color, and so I've got some fun colors, which is nice. But they have nice cuts and styles, and if you like things that are a little bit higher waisted, for those of us that have had babies and might have that little mama pouch in the front, they have some higher waisted styles that are really comfortable, that don't cut you off and give you that muffin top kind of look. I think that's everything about Modi Body. They do ship from Canada, so they take a little bit of time to get to you, but it's totally worth the wait. And then Bam Body. Bam Body is the newest addition to my collection and is one of my favorites. I use the Periodile Modi Body and Bam Body interchangeably pretty exclusively for my entire period. So Bam Body, super low profile. Even the higher absorbency ones are very low profile. So low profile, in fact, I took a picture a little while back. I can't remember if I put it in my stories or my feed, but I was wearing leggings and I was wearing a pair of Bam Body period underwear to show that there were no panty lines. It was weird taking a picture of my butt, just saying, but I thought it was really cool because I was a little hesitant to wear leggings with period panties, and the Bam Body are just so flush to the skin that like I didn't have any lines, which was great. They're very lightweight, they're very breathable, they wick really nicely, so you never feel like you're wet, even if they're if you have a few hours before you can change. So I love them. They're starting to expand their colors. Like they have a really pretty blue, kind of similar to my shirt, and a really pretty purple. Although recently they just released some like Easter pastel looking colors, like a pink and a mint and a light blue, but they have higher waisted and low rise and sport hipster, and so like they have a bunch of different cuts as well. They are exclusively sourced through Amazon, so they're really quick to get a hold of. Yes, Crystal, I wish I had thought to bring them all down with me too. I was like, oh, I need to record this video. I forgot to bring them down with me, so I do apologize. I'll take some picture comments so that you can see some of the pictures. But they're really seamless. They fit nice and flush. They have a postpartum style so that you can wear after you've had a baby. They have lighter days and heavier day absorbencies. It's bamboo fabric, so it's super lightweight. Again, really, really absorbent, but with a very low profile pad, which is awesome. The seam in the front comes up nice and high, so there aren't any issues with pooling and accidents. So Bam Body is really awesome. I have a few of my clients that use the Bam Body, and they've been really, really happy with their investment. So I just saw a note from Crystal. Yeah, I've never liked putting things up inside of my body either. In my practice, I talk a lot about not using plug products like tampons, because the energy of your period is down and out. It's a womb cleanse, and you're supposed to be shedding your lining without obstructing it. And cramping actually can, most of the time when I start with a new client and they sit down with me and they say, oh, I have horrible cramps, one of the first questions I'll ask them is, do you use a tampon? Because the tampon actually plugs the cervix and doesn't allow the full shedding of the endometrial lining. And so so period panties are an amazing option for that, which is why I'm doing this little video, because when I wasn't sure what to think going into it, and I didn't really know anybody that used them when I started using them. And I know that a lot of people's hesitancy at this point is there's a lot of options on the market. Where do I start? And a lot of people know Thinx as a brand, so that's where I started naturally. And just because it's more of a household name at this point. And I was so disappointed, and you know, I'm not bashing Thinx, but I just personally, I had accidents. I didn't like how they fit. They were really wet. They were very hot in the summertime because of the synthetic fabric, which is gross. And I'm like, ugh. And if that had been my one and only attempt at doing this, I may have just thrown in the towel on the entire experience. So this is why I wanted to do this video, because there are some really excellent brands out there. Period Isle breathes pretty well in hot weather. I see that Crystal has asked a question about how are they in the summer. Period Isle breathes pretty well because it's more cottony. It can be a little bit warmer. Modi Body breathes pretty well, although the thicker overnights are a little warmer just because there's more fabric there. I think out of all three, Modi Body probably breathes the best and wicks the best and deals with moisture the best if you're sweaty. So yeah, that's my 2 cents about all of these brands. I totally welcome questions. You know, if you're catching this on the replay, please, you know, put questions in the comments, because these are an amazing tool for you to have a really healthy period and reduce, you know, your waste. They pay for themselves in a very short period of time with how much paper products cost. Not to mention, you know, the fact that then you have to run to the store, or you have that whole, oh crap, I don't have anything with me, you know. But they're great on their own, but they're also an amazing backup for a disc, like a flex disc or a soft disc, if that's something that you're interested in trying, or as a backup for a menstrual cup. I use a menstrual cup almost exclusively. I have used flex discs in the past. I think I did a short video on that as well. But if you're interested in a little bit more information about menstrual cups and discs, I actually have a section in my menstrual cup course that specifically talks about all of that. If you're interested in checking out the how-to with menstrual cup, how do I choose a menstrual cup, what do I do with it in the public bathroom, you know, all of that stuff, I cover it in that course. And I do talk about period panties in there, but not in as much detail. Will I be making my own? I'm not sure what you're asking, Crystal. If you could elaborate a little bit, that would be very helpful. Um, you had a friend that had them after having her babies. Yes, they're a really great option for postpartum, and they're very absorbent. There are some brands like Bam Body that make one specifically with an eye towards postpartum, but even the heavy day ones and the overnight ones for that are geared like and marketed for periods would be sufficient for postpartum. I'm going to pause for just a second and see if there's any more questions or comments that come in. But I just wanted to thank you so much for joining me. You know, this is designed to be information for you. So for you to be empowered to, you know, make brand decisions without having to buy 50 different things in order to find what works for you. So let's see. Crystal. Yes. I would love to chat with you more, either about period panties or about menstrual cycle care, anything like that. I work with clients locally to the Seacoast, New Hampshire area, but I also work with people at a distance. Will I be making my own underwear? I don't know. There aren't plans for that at this time. I'm kind of focused on digital courses at this point, because my whole thing is you don't know what you don't know, and a lot of like menstrual health care, and you know, the quality of your period is tied to how you care for yourself during your period, and you know, helping people who want to get pregnant who may not have been given all of the information to prepare them for pregnancy. So that's kind of where my focus is right now, empowering you with information that you need in order to be successful. So at this point, I do not have plans for creating my own period panty line. However, it's not outside the realm of possibility, certainly, because good quality products are equally as important. So thank you so much for joining me and for your time. If you're catching this on the replay, again, feel free to post any questions that you have in the comments. I will take a series of pictures and I will include those in the comments, because I don't know what I was thinking in terms of getting this started and not actually bringing the panties down with me. Probably because I just finished my period and they're in various stages of drying. But any questions, that's what I'm here for. I hope this was helpful for you.